In today's Kitchen Table Talk, we want to continue our conversation from last Monday on 9 News at 3 about healthy boundaries when it comes to body consent talk with kids. 9 News parenting expert Dr. Sheryl Ziegler joins us now. I'm so happy we're continuing this conversation because if you tuned in last week, Alex and I had so many questions. We both have young children. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. So when do you begin these conversations? What is age appropriate? Walk us through that first.
Yeah, so we talked about some of this, but I think we can all use reminders because the conversation starts so young, 2 and 3 years old. And at 2 and 3 years old, you're teaching your child that their body is theirs and that their friend's body is theirs, and you don't go into other people's bubbles unless you're asked to, and you don't let people in your bubble unless you feel comfortable with it. So this starts really, really young, and honestly, it goes all the way through college and sometimes through adulthood. The sense of body boundary continues on with us for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and learning at an early age is so important. So what is no-go tell? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, no-go tell is a little phrase that you can start teaching kids really young, that when you feel comfortable with somebody, right, whether they're in your space or they're saying something to you or maybe they're asking you to keep a secret, that's always a red flag, right?
Yes, it is.
So you can say, if that ever happens to you, you just don't want to be there anymore. You don't like the way someone's in your bubble or asking you to be in their bubble. You can just say no, right? No qualifiers. No.
No is a complete sentence.
No.
Yep.
Period. No, go, just leave the situation, go find an adult and tell them what happened. No, go, tell.
I love the simplicity in that because kids will understand that. I literally, when I get home tonight, I'm going to tell them the no, go, tell because it's just easier, right? They can remember that. No, go, tell. So how can parents encourage open communication around this topic? Because it is so stigmatized and, you know, children can develop shame. If something were to happen to my child, I don't want them to feel so ashamed that they're not going to come tell me when it's not their fault. But somehow we internalize it and make it feel like it's our fault.
Yeah, I know, it's really hard. But I think the more open we are with our communication, right? The more that we talk about all kinds of things, the more that we're modeling that for our kids. And even if, let's just say you say something and you go, oh my gosh, I did that, and then I was so embarrassed, right? And then you've got these little eyes that are like, oh wait, mom thinks it's embarrassing to talk about this certain thing, say. But even though it was so embarrassing, I still talked about it anyway. And so now you're modeling not just like open communication, you're modeling vulnerability, you're modeling hard conversations. Sometimes you might make light of things, and then sometimes you might say, you know, earlier when I was laughing about that thing, you know, whatever it was, I know I laughed about it, but it was probably because I was actually a little bit nervous. And so you can always go back. Like sometimes people will say, oh, I heard you say this one certain thing, and oh man, did I mess this up? And I would say, you didn't mess anything up, go back. It's like a do-over or just it's like a continuation of what you started. It's no big deal to say earlier when I said this, I want to go back to that. No big deal.
Right, and then I think, again, you're modeling that to your kid. Maybe if they said something that they didn't feel was accurate or maybe they were told a lie, they can think about it and then come back and be like, hey, mom, you know how earlier what happened? Because they learned it from you, right?
Yeah,
how to somehow, what do you say that, like, not like a reparation, but when
like amends, like making amends? Or,
Yeah. Okay, so what about taking ownership of their bodies? How do we have the conversation? How do you instill that in them?
Yes. So this piece of ownership around your body is something, again, that can start at 2 and 3 years old. But it starts with little things. Like, it's funny how it comes up for me naturally when I'm just meeting with families. Sometimes it starts with the age at which it's no longer comfortable to like run around the house, let's say naked. Right? So there's a point in time where little kids are running around and it's all fine, or siblings are taking baths together. And then there's this natural time where maybe the siblings stop taking baths together or they stop running around without their clothes on. And so that's partly of taking ownership. There might be one kid who's ready sooner than the other one, if you have kids close in age, let's just say. And so, or they no longer want your grandma and grandpa or the babysitter to bathe them any longer. That's taking ownership. That's when you don't want to say, well, you're being ridiculous. This has been your babysitter forever and she can help you, right? Or this is grandma or grandpa, like no big deal. So you just say, I understand that. There comes a point in time you tell them this is normal, and then say, what made you think about it, right? So if in your head you're going, yeah, but I want to know why, then you don't have to say like, did something happen? Right? You can just say, oh, what made you think about that? What's making you feel differently? And normalizing, right?
normal.
And then just listen, easy breezy. And then you could even say something like, I remember I used to take baths with maybe my sibling or something, and I stopped it. I don't remember any longer why I did that, but it's really normal.
Yes. I love how you simplify things. Thank you so much, Dr. Ziegler.
You're
and
welcome.
Everybody, caretakers, grandparents, parents, know, go, tell.
No,
That's
go,
some life-saving information right there. Thank you.